and welcome to Slalom Paradise. We're in Tacen, just outside Ljubljana in Slovenia, for ICF World Cup 4 of the slalom season. Athletes from all over the world came together in this place that has a unique start. They go over a lip, and then it's just relentless paddling. Tell me about the first time over the drop.
It was like 15 years ago when I came here for the first time, and I was really scared. I didn't want to go down.
I was really excited.
It was 2009 at the world ranking race here, and I flipped over my paddle and had fun.
My first time ever in Tacen, I was like 13 years old, and I never saw the ramp before, and my coach just told me to go, and I just did it, and I'm fine, so.
It was me on Monday, being very scared.
Yeah, when I saw the drop, it was mixed feelings. It was something between fun, excitement, and nervousness.
I came here after the 2005 Junior Pre-Worlds in Solkan, and we were all very tired the next morning. Went down the drop for the first time and just sunk in the bottom stopper, and my deck popped. I swear it popped. I didn't pull it, and I swam.
The first time I was here in Tacen, we were doing the bottle contest on the drop, and it's just when you have a bottle on the side and you grab it on the way down. And I grabbed it and I flipped and ate it pretty bad the first time, but it was totally fun.
World Cup standings after 3 World Cups. Alexander Slavkovsky with 3 third places is leading Tasiadis from Germany. C1 men finalists. We're going to look at the best of the action. There were heats, semi-finals. Franz Anton from Germany. Multi-talented athlete. What's he going to do? Well, he takes the right-hand side. We always name it downriver. The idea is to negotiate your way through a set of preset gates that are the same for every single athlete without touching them or missing them. As you can see, green and white, you go downstream. You can either go straight or a spin. The gates where you need to go up are red and white. Here we go, the idea, and this is an eddy. The eddy where the water is going counter upstream. And the idea clearly is to spend as little time in your eddies and really use the speed of the water. There's about 120 cubic meters coming down here per second. Franz Anton put down a very solid run. He was first to go in the final. The way they go is in reverse order of the times they had with penalties in the semi-finals. So these athletes have already seen and already been down this course. There were 4 Slovenians in the final. It's not surprising, really. It is their home course. Anzi Bergic, a very talented athlete, won 2 World Cups in a row 4 or 5 years ago, and then it's been a little bit quiet on the international circuit. But there's certainly no lacking in talent. As you can see, the idea is to keep the paddle in the water as much as possible so you can really control the flow. And he went direct there. On the timing, if it's red, you're behind. If it's green, you're ahead of your competition. Great noise here. Most of the actual fans are on riverbank right, which is where all the cameras were, so you can't see them. These athletes will know all the moves. The course designers have the option of where to put the gates. And Tacen, the actual course here, first built in 1939, a little bit behind the others, and that's why there's frustration. Course built in 1939, massively updated in 1990. Just before this next competitor, Michael Martikel, started to be a competitor. In fact, when he was 17 years old in Atlanta, he won a gold medal at the Olympic Games. Now, Martikel is a complete legend in this sport. His red boat, well, always the signature. Now, he's a master technician. He may be 39 years old, but he still lives for the sport. And for many years with Tony Estanguet, these two were battling it out for Olympic titles. You can see in the picture, Franz Anton, who's already been down, is watching this run. Sidiris Tassiadis from Germany wears number 1, which means he's ranked number 1 in the world. This year, he already has victories in the World Cups. He takes the left-hand channel, which is slightly shorter. The challenge there is the water's not quite going so fast. It's a really short paddle. One of the fittest athletes. Eisbeis being from Germany, they train in Augsburg, and they're known for doing loop after loop after loop. So Sidiris at the moment is nearly a second up on the field. Known for his brilliant paddle control, spinning on the gate. This will be a preconceived plan. Maybe a little bit low there on gate 19, but keeps the speed. Sidiris, 2012 Olympic Games in London, took the silver medal. And we'll really be looking to go for the Worlds in Rio de Janeiro. He comes in looking good. Well, that's what it means to him. He takes the lead. Next to go, Yuri Lenarcic. Very low centre of gravity. Keeps also very low in the boat. They're kneeling, by the way. And to keep them in position, they have a handmade foam support. This gives them a centre of gravity, which means that they can really play with the angles and put the boat exactly where they want it to go. All these boats have certain things in common in the sense that they're the same weight, they're the same length, they're the same width, but they can have different volumes in them. Not what he wanted. Mathieu Biazizou, one of the top French athletes, watching very closely. Why is he doing this? Well, his young compatriot, you see, 18 years old, Nicolas Gestin, is making his World Cup senior debut, and the French are loving it. Now, is he going to be crushed by the pressure, or is he going to be inspired by the moment? The French, a little bit disappointing today in the fact that the Olympic champion, Denis Gago-Canoe, just missed out. Slight challenge there, but this is a cracking run. As you see, he hit the gate. Doesn't matter how many times you hit it, 2 seconds automatically added onto your time. And I think this is a dream weekend for the young Frenchman. Benji Savcek. Now, he's the man with all the pressure on his shoulders. And there's the Slovenian flag, very similar to the Slovakia flag. He is the current world champion and has won many times on this course. Savcek, if you go into town of Ljubljana, he's the poster boy all over the place. Has always been very fast, but in the last couple of years, he really manages to control the boat more. But look at this, early on, he's struggling a little bit with the water. Now, the water on this course, it's an artificial course with a concrete bottom. However, as there's a lot of water coming down, it's quite wide, there is a fluctuation in the levels. Keeps the excitement on. It also means, however, that the athletes have to adapt. You can see the flowing on the bank behind. So 2 seconds of penalties. It's not going to make it. The athletes have mixed reactions on the podium. Clearly, they want to win, but clearly they want to win in the best conditions. We've just seen the Slovaks on the bank watching Alexander Slavkovsky. So far in these World Cups, he's leading the standings, 165 points, which means he's come second all 3 times. Very good skier, very tall paddler who doesn't look like he's trying, but believe me, has a great deal of strength. Choosing the spin option. So he's a little bit down. The crowd are not making any noise. Why is that? Well, he's a threat. At the moment, there's a Slovenian in 3rd place. So the last couple of gates to negotiate. Punts off the wall, which of course you can do. The danger there is you might slide. Really needs a bit of luck with the water to come over this last big wave, and it's going to be close. Oh, just 2nd place. So, 2 Germans in the top 3. Sidus Tassiadis looks delighted. Here we go. Sidus Tassiadis, Alexander Slavkovsky and Franz Anton are the medalists.
Yeah, thanks for congratulations. I'm really happy about to race here and to win my third World Cup medal here, or the win. I'm really happy to keep the line so good until the finish line, because it was a hard course here today. It was not so easy to do all the things so pretty good. I tried my best and the time was good, but Safsek was in the semi-final faster than I want to be faster than he. For the World Cup standings, it's really good for me now. But I think now behind Slavkovsky again, because he have 4 medals in 4 World Cups, and he has so good points until now. And I think 15 points behind him. It will be a good race next weekend.
Standing, Slavkovsky is leading Tassiadis Bozic. The last World Cup stage will have double points. Congratulations, gentlemen. And now a look into the world of Jess Fox, the world's top paddler.
So I've been racing for a few years now, and I guess I've developed my own pre-race routine, and it's something that I can adapt to all different venues, and it helps me get into the zone before racing. I guess the first step is getting to the venue and seeing what the course is for the race. Usually we have the demo runs and we watch those demo runners go down and we figure out which lines we're going to take. Each course is quite different, and some venues have certain areas which are a lot harder than others. For example, in Tacen, it's that famous first drop. So I find that in the week leading up to the race and in those training sessions, I pick out a few areas I want to work on and focus on that. Once the course is set, I analyze it with my coach. I might walk through it by myself and figure out where I want to place my boat and where the key moves are, where the biggest difficulties will be. And if I need a little bit more analysis, I'll watch some video as well. On race morning, after I've had a good night's sleep and a good breakfast, I get to the course about 2 hours before. I watch the 4 runners and I get on for a good warm-up to get the body moving, get the mind going, and get excited for the race day.
These are the standings after 3 races. Jess Fox won all her races so far. Ricky Funk and Corinna Kunle just behind. And this is the start list. Reverse order of the times they had in the semi-finals. As you can see, Jess Fox again leading the ball. So we join the action with Katerina Kudjova from the Czech Republic in the same training group as the world's top paddlers. So let's see how she performs. Exactly the same setup for the men. Oh, that was a little bit difficult. The rules are you need to have your head and a part of your boat under the water, but clearly, as we saw, it's not the most efficient. What we really need to concentrate on is the angle of the boat, the bow of the boat, the front, and is it always moving down stream? So we had an early penalty. Lisa Leitner is looking on. Well, there's no doubt in about Katerina Kudryova takes the first initial place. Next over, Iva Churchill, very popular here with the locals. This is her home course, of course, from Slovenia. Been on the circuit for the last 6 or 7 years now and really put a lot of results together. Hasn't had any wins for a while, though. Let's see if she can hold the pressure. We saw the men. 4 men were in the C1 final. No one came on the podium. Can the women do the same? And we see she's up at the moment, breathing hard. There's a cheap penalty, 2 seconds onto her score. So it's 6 seconds. So far, it's going to be difficult now. Now there's 8 seconds of penalties. That's not what she wanted. It's not a bad run, but just small touches. But with the power of the water, unless you have exactly the right line, it's going to punish you. And that's the way it should be. So 5 seconds back, but with 8 seconds penalty, it's not surprising. Next down, Yasmin Schomburg. Look for a new challenge this year. She's actually been competing also in the C1. Yasmin, known for positioning the boat exactly where she wants it, a great technician. In her own words, not the strongest athlete out there, but a really good user of the water. 2 2-second penalties here. That could be costly. One of many former world champions competing in this final. Katerina Kudryova looks on clearly, and there she's taken a bit of a stopper. Probably cost her a medal. Next is Ricky or Ricarda Funk. Struggled a little bit this year, but last year was unbeatable. Very, very strong power to weight ratio. She can do 25 pull-ups in the gym, no problem. The advantage of having the power is she can really force the boat to where she wants to make it. She came 4th last year, rather 2 years ago when they have a shortened course here in Tacen. So deciding when to spin. Crucially, a little bit low, but keeps the speed going. Germans, you can hear hop, hop, hop on the side. Again, a little bit stuck in, so half a second here, half a second there will not be helping her. Takes a breath. Can she have the luck of the water over the last section? Just outside at the moment. There's some big athletes to come. Vicky Wolfhart from Austria. European champion recently in the C1. Very versatile athlete. Yet, however, to medal in the K1 in this World Cups. Really quick in and out, keeping the boat fast and head ducking. So none of the athletes at this level have problems with the big stoppers there. And a massive 5 seconds up, but there's probably a second to say given back there. The rain coming down, but crucially there's no wind. And these athletes are not too bothered by rain. The other athletes looking on. This is a real threat. We saw a 5 seconds up. It's all about angling the boat. These athletes are sitting down. It's going to be a cracking time. Held up slightly. Well, she's happy about that. And moves into provisional first place. So now it's Ursa Krajel from Slovenia. She was twice, a few years ago, the overall season champion. Always thereabouts in the final. A really fine technician. One of the slightest athletes, but knows exactly what she wants to do. And again, there's local expectations, but 3 seconds up. Looks like for the Slovenians, this is crushing it a little bit and really having to give back some more time. Crucially clean and having to make plan Bs on several gates. Really focusing on the next gate. Where some of the boys are punting off, she keeps it still. using her bows just coming through. You can see the waves here. It's quite a shallow bit at the bottom. Well, the speaker is willing her on. And Vicky Wolfhard in your picture, a Red Bull athlete. Karina Kunle, the most naturally strong athlete in the field. She's one of the few athletes at this level who doesn't do C1. So all her eggs in one basket. Taking the fast left lane. Says it's her favourite course. Lives in Austria, which clearly is not too far away from here. Was the 2011-2010 world champion. Often known for not really coping that well with the pressure when it really counts. Let's see what she can do today. But so far, 1 second up. And you can hear the rain coming down very heavily now. It's all about concentration. The Austrians had 3 athletes in this final. Helmut Oblinger, the very respected paddler, now turned to be head coach, is really doing something right. This has been charged for the last 2 seasons. Also for the men's programme. But no doubt about Connie, as she's known, is really putting something special together today. Well, words don't need there. Woohoo and yes. However, it's not over yet. Jess Fox. We saw a few minutes ago how she prepares. What she's done so far this season is absolutely extraordinary. She's won all 3 World Cups in not only the K1, but the C1 as well. But these conditions really are extreme now. She won't use excuses, but I think it's going to add a couple of seconds. 2013 had her first World Cup victory here. 2016 won C1 and K1 for the first time. So has a love affair with this course. 1.38 seconds up, and she's the last athlete to go. But having to duck and dive, that's going to cost her a second or 2. Well, there's going to be nothing in it. The athletes are going to be biting their teeth. It's really not enough. You know that if you beat Jess, you're going to win. She's been stuck in there for a second or 2. This is really not the dream run. How's it going to go in the last bit? Look at Connie there. She thinks she's won it. Well, it shows that Jess Fox is human after all. Two Austrians together on the podium. Karina Kunle first, Jess Fox second, Victoria Wolfhard third.
Yeah, I mean, the course is really tough, it's tricky, but I think that's what we're here for, and we're the best canoeists in the world, so I think it's good that we are challenged. I think everyone came here and trying to beat Jess, really, and yeah, it was a tough weekend racing, but I'm happy now. This result, obviously.
A little bit of suspense going into the last World Cup with Jess Fox leading Karina Kunle and Ricky Funk. The rain kept pouring and pouring and pouring. As is a natural course, logic says the river level rose and rose and rose. Unfortunately, the courses of Sunday had to be cancelled. So the K1 men and the C1 women, The result came from the heats. Safety comes first, though. So that's it from Tacen. I hope you enjoyed it. Follow us on social media and see you next time for some amazing Slalom World Cup racing.